Hi friends, welcome to a Co-Engineer YouTube channel. Today we discuss about Indian traditional knowledge, essence of Indian traditional knowledge, భారతీయ సాంస్కృతిక సాంప్రదాయాల విశిష్టతను గురించి మనం తెలుసుకోబోతున్నాము. In this topic, global legal fora for increasing protection of Indian traditional knowledge. In this, Indian traditional knowledge is now available to the United States Patent and Trademark Office (UPPTO) and European Patent Office (EPO), who can access database of traditional knowledge, attend the Indian government permission. The global legal fora for increasing protection of Indian TK traditional knowledge. Indian traditional knowledge is now available to the United States Patent and Trademark Office USPTO, United States Patent and Trademark Office, and European Patent Office, who can access database of traditional knowledge, the Accountancy on Indian government permission, the Indian Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR), the Indian Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, Indian Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and the Department of Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy, developed by the TK Digital Library, a traditional knowledge digital library, a 30 million space searchable and database of traditional knowledge translated from several languages such as Hindi, Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, Urdu, Tamil to English, the Japanese and French, German and Spanish. This is the global legal fora for increasing the protection of Indian traditional knowledge. What are the major reasons? What are the worldwide and global legal level for increasing protection of traditional knowledge is nothing but the Indian traditional knowledge is now available to the United States Patent and Trademark Office (UPPSTO), USPTO, and European Patent Office (EPO), who can access the database of traditional knowledge courtesy the Indian government's permissions, Indian Council of Scientific and Industrial Research (CSIR), and the Department of Ayurveda, Yoga and Naturopathy, Unani, Siddha and Homeopathy developed the traditional knowledge digital library TKDL, 30 million space searchable database of TK traditional knowledge translated from the several languages such as Hindi, Sanskrit, Arabic, Persian, Urdu, and Tamil into English, Japanese, and French, German, and Spanish. The United Nations Draft Declarations on Rights of Indigenous People (UNDRIP). United Nations Draft Declaration of Rights of Indigenous People. United Nations Draft of Declaration on Rights of the Indigenous People. Article 29 of this United Nations Draft Declaration specifically states that people from allies unauthorized and recognitions of complete ownerships and control and protection of their cultural and IP intellectual properties, they have a special rights to control, develop, and protect their sciences, technologies, and cultural experiences, including human and other genetic resources, seeds, medicines, wisdom of the characteristics of flora and fauna, oral traditions, literature, design, and visual and performing arts. The United Nations Draft Declaration of Rights of Indigenous Peoples, the Article 29 of this United Nations Draft Declaration specifically states that people from the allies life insurance corporations are authorized to the recognition of the complete ownership, the control and protection of their cultural and intellectual properties. They have the special rights to control, develop, and protect their sciences, technologies, and cultural expressions, including human and other genetic resources, seeds, medicines, wisdom of the characteristics of flora and fauna, and traditional literature and design and visual and performing the arts. What is the global guidance? Here another positive initiative is the inclusion of the set of draft corporative and guidelines for businesses that want to use native plants and traditional knowledge from allies to make commercial drugs. Global guidelines is nothing. Other positive initiatives is the inclusion of the set of draft corporative guidelines for business that want to use the native plants and traditional knowledge from allies life insurance corporations to make commercial drugs. Here, the International Treaty on Plant Genetic Resources of the Food and Agriculture, International Treaty Plant and Genetic Resource for Food and Agriculture, passed by the Food and Agriculture Organization Conference in 2001, effect from the 2009 June 2029 and 2004. June 29, 2004, the treaty provides for protection relating to farmers' rights including traditional knowledge and traditional breeding practices. Now the Intergovernmental Community (IGC), the IP Genetic Resources (TK) and Folklore and established under the World Intellectual Property Organization (WPO) in 2200, which provides a forum for negotiations on issues related to development of building international mechanism on traditional knowledge. The Intergovernmental Community (IGC) on Intellectual Property and Genetic Resources, Traditional Knowledge and Folklore established under the World Intellectual Property Organization (WPO) in 2000, which provides a forum of negotiations on issues and related to development of building international mechanism on traditional knowledge. Need for a sui generis legislation in India. What is the need for a sui generis legislation in India? The protection of TK raises several policy issues, prominently the objectives and methods of such a protection and its impact on the ramifications for intended beneficiaries. Such issues are extremely complex since there are broad differences about the definition of the subject matter, the justification for protection, and the means for achieving its purposes. The issues pertaining to traditional knowledge should be addressed in a comprehensive manner, including ethical, environmental, and social economic corners. Moreover, there are still several unresolved technical issues such as the problem of cultivative ownership and modes of enforcement of rights. Reforms aims to reduce the misuse of genetic resources and traditional knowledge, such as by enhancing the Patent Prior Act, such in restricting and scope of the subject matter claims in patent law to biological, biochemical, and genetic issues and necessary patent applications to disclose the origin of genetic resources and traditional knowledge that were useful for essential to the innovations and the encouragement of subgenetics TK traditional knowledge protection laws based patently on current forms of intellectual property rights, but with some modern features. These are the needs for sui generis and legislations in India. Thank you friends. Thank you very much.